Hey guys, welcome back. Another Digital Gate Studios production. Today I got the grand debut of Basil here.
Hey, how's it going?
We're so excited to have you on. It's about darn time. What do you got for us today?
Got my favorite deck that I've ever built. It's the deck that not the first deck I started playing with, but the first deck I really started trying hard with.
Gotcha,
And
okay.
it's Bloomlordmon. We got some new toys in BT11 and BT12, and here we are.
I'm so excited to see this list.
All right, well, we're going to start off with every good Bloomlord list. You've got 4 of the Argomon. This is going to be the egg that you use almost every time. A lot of lists will have the one of Gummymon.
Yeah.
I opted for just the 4 eggs.
Man of my own heart.
For the reason that the Gummimon's going to cost you more than it's going to help you, because you're going to draw a lot in this deck.
Yeah.
And what you really want is that extra memory to help you on the turn. And we're not going to run through 5 eggs as much for reasons we will see later on. So I'm just sticking with the 4 Argomon for the 1 extra memory when you unsuspend on your unsuspend phase. And we'll go into the rookies. We've got 4 of the Searcher Palmon.
Makes sense
This
to me.
one is on play. Search 4, grab 1 plant and 1 fairy. The only fairy in the deck is Bloomlordmon, but you always want to see that. So this deck is the Searcher, and this is one of the only... At every level, at level 3, level 4, and level 5 and level 6, there are mandatory 4-ofs. This is one of them. You can't really mess with this. And this is the other mandatory 4-of rookie. That's the Pomumon. That's the EX3 Pomumon. Suspend this Digimon to suspend one of your opponent's Digimon.
Great card.
This one was really good when you played the Gummymon, but it's also good in general because it's going to help you proc your level 6s, and it's going to help you swing over stuff when you do eventually go into that Bloomlordmon.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So this is one you're going to want to see, and you don't. And if nothing else, it's just another rookie to go over. One of the newer cards we're hanging on to is our first one of is the BT11 Palmon.
Oh, it's just a one of?
Just the one on this Palmon because it is. It's really good on turn 1. So this deck has good turn 1s, as we all know. Rookie into level 4 for really cheap. But if you don't have a level 4, if your turn is rookie in the back and then hard play this Palmon, then your start of your next turn, you're going to draw 2 because no one's going to deal with that on turn 1, really.
I see.
And it's also good if your turn 2 is promote and then play this.
Yeah.
They're going to have to choose between dealing with something that has an egg underneath it or dealing with something that's going to draw you a card every turn. So it's just something that has to make the opponent think about what they want to deal with. Now, the next rookies, we've got Floodgates. The first 2 are the Terriermon.
Makes sense to me.
And then the Pomumon. The good thing about the Terriermon is there's a lot of memory gain in this set.
Oh, yeah.
So that's from Beelzemon, that's from the Red Hybrids, that's from anyone who's running Blinding Ray or Gravity Crush in their decks. There's a lot of memory gain in this set. So Terriermon's very good. The bad thing about Terriermon is, 1, it's not a plant, a fairy, or a vegetation, so it's not searchable or playable by any of your other Digimon. And it's not going to be gaining memory from any of those effects. So that's what's bad about it. But again, blocking memory
I still think it's
really
worth it.
good.
It's such a good card.
It's very, very good. And then we've got the one Pomumon. This is really good because it is a vegetation, so you can play it with your other Digimon, but it also turns off your own deck.
Yeah, I was going to ask you
So it says
about
all
that.
players. So it's going to stop you from playing your own Digimon by effects. And you can turn it off by going over it with a level 4.
Yeah.
But sometimes it can hurt you. Now, these 4 are all changeable based on your own meta. If you're seeing a lot of Mastemon or security control, more Pomumons. If you're seeing more, memory boost decks or whatever, Terriermon's a little bit better. And then if you just like drawing a million, just put in more of the new Palmons.
I like it.
But that's the rookie lineup. Only 12 because we have Mulligan now, and you only really need 12. And the level 4s are kind of like rookies.
They basically are. How cheap they are, right?
Right. So we're going to move into the only mandatory 4-of in the level 4 lineup, which is first the Sunflow. This has the effect of suspending one of your green Digimon, not necessarily it. That's something a lot of people miss. You can suspend any green Digimon to play a 3K plant, fairy, or vegetation for free. So that's really good because everything level 4 and under is a 3K or less. So all of our level 4s you can play for free. And it also has the inherited. When an effect suspends your Digimon, draw one. So
Makes a lot of sense.
that's gonna fill up your hand more, and it's gonna go super wide in the board. And Digivolving for 2, everyone's like, oh yeah, Bloomlord always puts you at 1. But going into this in the back doesn't really even feel that bad.
Yeah.
Because if you go into level 5 on top of it, you're gonna get that draw anyway. Next, we have the sole remaining vanilla in the deck. Which is the red Vegemon.
Yeah.
3 to hard play, 1 to Evo, 3K. This thing is so funny because you just get into a level 5 from nothing,
So
just
cheap,
like
yeah.
that. Gets played by all your effects. And so, I mean, it's just, give your enemy turn 1 on, or 1 memory on their second turn. It's very strong. But it does nothing but be cheap. So that's the only thing. And then the last champion, or the last level 4 that I'm running is the Yakimon.
Ooh, okay.
And so this is the blocker that we got in the most recent set. And a lot of lists you'll see will be the Weedmon, which is essentially red veggie, but it's play cost of 4.
Yep.
Because most decks don't really run Digiburst anymore. You can run the Nidhogg, which is a Digiburst level 6. But a lot of lists don't even run that anymore. They just run it because it's a 1 to Evo. The reason I like the Yakimon is because, for one, I think 2 to Evo is really good in our particular scene because we see a lot of Greymon, Evo for 2. So putting them at 1 is really going to put you at 1 back. Putting them at 2 kind of puts them in a more awkward position. Additionally, on a turn with the Yakimon, if you go into a rookie in the back and then promote, you go Sunflow and then play the Yakimon. If they try to kill the Sunflow, they're not going to be able to because you block.
Just block it, exactly.
And then you gain the memory off the Argomon. So that's kind of the reason I prefer the Yakimon to the Weedmon, as well as it's a blocker. So people who are swinging with Impmons, you're going to save 1 HP. People who are swinging with the Gumdramon from the Hunter's deck, things like that. All the 2K rookies that are swinging, you're saving 1 HP. And this deck has no form of recovery, so every HP matters. Then we'll move into the level 5s. This is the only mandatory 4 of in the level 5s. That is the Agitarmon. It has the same skill as the Sunflow, but it's not when Digivolving. It's main. So you can do it once per turn, suspend a green Digimon to play a 3K plant fairy or vegetation. And then in the inherited, it has gain 1 memory. And the reason that that's so important is because you can go into Bloomlordmon from 1 memory.
Or even cheaper.
So you have 1 memory, you use Agitar, you play something, you go into Bloom, it suspends something, that gains 1 from the Agitar, and then 2 for the suspended Digimon. So it's a net cost of 1 to go from a 5 to a level 6. And it stays your turn. So that one's mandatory 4 of. For the next, we have 3 of the Cherrymon.
Okay.
And I'm up on the Cherrymon because there's so many red hybrid players running around.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
And it combos with our level 6s and new level 7 very, very well. So Cherrymon says you can redirect an attack to any suspended Digimon.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be just itself.
Does not have, I love
that is going to matter a little bit later. Then we've got 2 one-ofs, essentially the same thing. We've got 1 Blossomon and 1 Argomon. So the reason I have just one of these is because, 1, I prefer the Cherrymon, a little bit more utility than the Blossomon. The reason I play the Argomon is because if you only have 3 bodies on board when you go into Bloomlord, the swing will play another one, which will give it that 4th suspended body. I can see if I was going to change this, I would go to 2 Blossomon
and
take out the Argomon, just because with the Terriermon and the new level 7, our searches are a little bit less consistent in terms of looking for vegetations. And Argomon is a mutant, not a vegetation. But that the extra inherited skill comes up so much and is so helpful.
I mean, that card's restricted for a reason, right? Like, you gotta play it.
It fits with the deck so perfectly, and going up for free and then playing something for free, it's very, very strong. So that's it for the level 5s. Now we'll move into the level 6s. Gotta have 4 of the Bloomlord.
I love this
That's
guy.
the key card in the deck. When Digivolving, suspend something, gain 1 memory for each 2 suspended,
Yeah.
or gain 1 memory for each suspended vegetation. If you gain 2, restand and get piercing. And then for every 2, 2k and 1 security check. So, I mean, with 2 level 5s, you can go through 6 security in 1 turn. You're not going to die unless you hit Omni X,
Yep.
you know, or Gaia Force or something like that. You can just blow through security, beat over every Digimon in the game. Pretty much, you gotta have 4 of those. We are down on our next level 6, down to just 3 of the Hydramon.
Okay.
Hydramon, when Digivolving, you suspend 1 thing, and then on your opponent, on all turns, when something's suspended, gain memory for other suspended plant fairy
Hydra's so
vegetations.
nasty. I love it.
So it doesn't count itself, but every other suspended Digimon gains you memory. And then bottom decking is really strong in this format.
Yeah.
So this is against the Hunters. They lose all their materials.
Yep.
Beelzemon, when they have on deletion effects.
Yeah, they don't get that back.
And if anyone's playing Crossheart, it's really strong. If they're playing Red Hybrids have on deletion, play a Takuya. Hydramon's going to be your way around that. And we used to have 4 and 4 of these level 6s, but we got a brand new level 7. 2 Quartzmon.
Needed.
2 Quartzmon. This is a Digimon that is way better than I thought it was going to be. I was like, oh, well, we at least get some new top end, and that's great. But it's a meta-defining card. It suspends everything. It's not only it suspends everything, but it doesn't unsuspend. I thought it was only doesn't unsuspend
Like just that one turn.
on your
I gotcha.
unsuspend phase.
Yep.
But it's at all.
At
so
all times.
Reboot.
Blitz Omni.
Blitz
It stops
Omni,
Blitz
Old
Omni.
Force,
Yep.
all of these unsuspend Digimon doesn't happen because of this card. And then it trashes security and gains memory. When attacking, you suspend something. It locks down the board. And because of how cheap you get into Bloomlord and Hydramon, you go into this card from a level 5 or from a level 4 sometimes.
Yeah.
So this is the top end us green players were all waiting for. That's it for the Digimon. I should make one note. If you're planning on entering Ultimate Cup in this deck, Hydramon goes to 1.
Yeah.
You have a couple of options. You can go up in the Quartzmon,
Okay.
which I think is reasonable. Or you can play one of the 3. You can play Nidhogg, which we've mentioned, which is the Digiburst. You can play Lotusmon. Or you can play Shivamon. I think Shivamon's probably your best option, but it's another thing that's not searchable because it's an insectoid.
You're right.
not a vegetation. But if you want another fairy, Lotusmon, or if you just play 4 Quartzmon, that'd probably work out fine. So that's it for Digimon. We'll now move into our options. First of which, 4 Green Memory Boost.
Love it.
Green Memory Boost, you're going to want to keep it for your combo turns. If you're couple memories short, going into double bloom, going from bloom to quartz, going wherever. Green Memory Boost is going to help you out there, and it's going to help you find the pieces that you're missing. So if you're missing that level 5, that level 4, you never feel bad playing a Green Memory Boost, and hitting out of security, an extra 2 memory never hurt nobody. Then we've got 2 Grand Del Sol.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So when Mulligan was introduced, I decided that you can basically put a kill spell in every deck.
Yep, now that you have extra space for
Grand Del
everything.
Sol is the one for this deck. Makes the most sense. It synergizes with the suspension effects, so you'll be able to get benefits there with the Hydramon and stuff like that. And you're almost always going to have 2 suspended Digimon.
Yeah.
So it's never really going to cost 8. And
6
then,
is way better.
Right. And then out of security, that's a game winner. Then we've got a couple of one-ofs. The first is Hidden Potential Discovered.
Gotta play that card too.
Play one Hidden Potential Discovered because going into Quartzmon for 1 memory and then gaining 4, I don't know what more you could really ask for out of a card. I really thought they weren't going to let us play with this card anymore, but we can still use it for now, so we shall. Then our last option, we've got one of Samedi Santi.
Makes sense to me.
It comes up really, it's a very niche card.
Yeah.
It's a mini Grandel sold out of security because
Yeah.
if you have one security and they have 2 Digimon, they
Yep.
swing with one, suspend the other, and that'll stop their lethal turn. And then it will also help you get an extra suspended thing if you need for Bloomlord, or another
Yeah.
suspended thing if you need for Hydramon, or whatever you need. This card, I only run one because it doesn't come up too often, but when you have it, you're glad you are. And then the last card in the deck, just one Mimi.
Just one Mimi. Okay.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. Playing a tamer for its cost right now is way too slow.
Oh, it sucks. Yeah. Yeah.
Every deck has when digivolving. If you don't have a tamer, play a tamer, and green doesn't have it yet. We're waiting on that Togemon, Bandai, and
We'll
I
get
know
it.
you're watching. So print us that. When digivolving, play a Mimi if you don't have a Mimi. But for now, we just have one, and that's kind of the rationale for why we only have the 4 eggs. Because we're not going to get to the 5th egg.
You're not gonna
because
go through it.
We don't play as
Yeah.
many Mimis. So
That makes a lot of sense. Okay.
Mimi you see every other game, and if it hits out of security, it's a big winner. But you don't really want to hard play it unless it's turn 1 and you don't really have anything. But of course, when you do have it, you're never really sad that you do, because if you're going to promote something or if you're going to hatch an egg, get you
Yeah.
another draw.
I was gonna ask you, how come you're not playing like Arbormon anymore, right? Or a green hybrid? But that you're answering my question. You're only
The
playing one tamer.
The hybrid, you're not really looking to kill them from 5. You're looking to kill them from like 3 or 2. Or burn your last one and swing with Quartzmon or something like that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. There it is.
Guys, well, thank you so much for watching, and everybody give a huge shout out for Basil for finally joining us. We're so excited. Jump in the comments. Let us know you want to see him more often. I know we're going to record at least one more deck with him. So that's for today anyways. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.